Hello, everybody. My name is Margaret. Welcome to my channel. You're on booktube. How's everybody doing? Today, what do we have for today? It is Tuesday, and it is later than usual, but it is still a tag Tuesday, so I'm going to be doing the Postscript book tag. So I'm pretty excited. This is one that I was tagged by Sandy at MsReads A Lot to do. And it's a reflective tag, so it's a little chatty, but we're also going to be shouting out a few books and fun things like that. So getting ready. Anita was here earlier saying hello. I asked her about her snow. She said it melted a bit yesterday and then froze, so we now have ice to go with it. And I said, well, then you have a Portland special, because that's what happens in Portland. And the reason why people lose their freaking minds, because they can't drive on ice. I definitely can't. I just hope big snows stay away next weekend. Is something special happening next weekend? Oh, Shannon's here. Zesty Houston. Hello, Shannon. John's here. Hey, y'all, listen up. Howdy. Only one tag at a time. It is that important. It gets all the airtime. What can I say? Katie's here. Katie reads and rants. Hello. So exciting. Okay, so should I tag the people first? I've tagged them in the tweet, which is no doubt why some people are here. And so maybe I should just put that out there. I put them in the description like 5 minutes ago and put it out in a tweet for those who are on Twitter. But in case you're wondering if you're in this one, I've got a lot of people this time. I've got 8. Steph at Coffee Over Apples, Tina at Beating Around the Books, Bookaholic Brown Nymph, which is a new one for me, Lana X Libris, Rosie Cockshut, Katya Weinert, and Katie Reads and Rants, and Lamp in the Library, which is Graham and Kim. So I think that's 8. But spot check me on my math, not mouth. Shannon's saying there's ice everywhere. My youngest yelled this morning. We live in Florida. Ice as in refrigerator problems? Jenna stopping by. Hello, Jenna. Love the like button. Thank you, friend. Anita says, nothing special, but it's been 2 snow weekends in a row I want to break. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why the snow chooses the weekend. That seems kind of not fair. I loved it already. Thank you for liking and commenting. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So, the Postscript tag. Here's the first question. What is the longest book you read in 2021? And for this one, my answer, according to Storygraph, is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon at 848 pages. But I had 13 books, apparently, that were over 500. I'm not a huge tome reader like some in the sci-fi fantasy world, but there were several in the 500 to 800 range. So I do like a big book. The second question in number 1 is, what book took you the longest to finish? And I have a few here that this was not easily tracked in Storygraph, but I'm going to say 5 Points, which is a book I borrowed from my friend Allison. It's a nonfiction about the 5 Points neighborhood of New York City, and I was going through and tabbing it up so much and trying to absorb all the details of like from the 1820s to the 1880s, which is quite a span of history. So that took a long time, but was really good. It also took me a long time to get through Few Eggs and No Oranges, which is over 500 pages. It's the edited diary of a woman living in London during the Blitz in World War II, and that was pretty fabulous as well, and I've talked about that before. So, and that's Broad Street Traffic for you. There we go. So, big books. Joe's here. Gonna say hello to Joe. Hope you're doing well. There we go. Yep. Question number 2, what books were outside your comfort zone? And so for the purpose of defining what that is, I was especially looking for books that talked about experiences that I have not had or viewpoints that I cannot speak from. And so diving into some of those was The Deep by Rivers Solomon, The Skin We're In by Desmond Cole, Survival Math by the Portland author who now lives in New York. Can't remember, that was like a year ago. A Raven Sings, which is by another Portland author. That was the LGBTQ paranormal romance. And Clockwork Angel. So that was my first Cassandra Clare, and so far my only Cassandra Clare. But I'm trying new things, and that's the point, challenging yourself with new viewpoints and going outside your comfort zone. It's one of my favorite quotes is, oh, why go out on a limb? Because that's where the fruit is. All right, question number 3. How many rereads did you do? And I came up with 4. I went painstakingly through all 144 books. I reread Sunshine by Robin McKinley. Yep. Messenger of Truth by Jacqueline Winspear. Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Thank you. And Jane and the Netley Ghost, something like that. It's one of the Jane Austen mysteries by Stephanie Barron, and that's my favorite in the series, so that was another comfort read. So it's 4 out of 144, so pretty low reread average. And my favorite one of those rereads was Sunshine. So I love them all, but we'll go with Sunshine, the vampire hilarious adventure, I'll say. Question number 5. Which book are you looking forward to rereading? So for this one, I said Gathering Moss by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I did a standalone review, and I'm going to put this up in the cards. This is my signal to myself later to put it in the cards. Make it easy to find for myself. It was fantastic. It had a very relatable narrative voice of someone explaining how they came to love something, how fascinating it is, why it's important, and how they learn something every time that they immerse themselves in that environment. So, and it's already Moss, so I'm already in. So it was like heaven. So yes, looking forward to rereading that. Oh, Joe says, if you like the book The Skin We're In, highly recommend the documentary. Did he also do a documentary? This is a Canadian Black Lives Matter activist. Wow, very cool. And Jenna is recommending it too. Okay, that might be better. I listened to an audiobook version, and he read it himself, and wasn't my favorite. Good content, but yeah, some people's voices and some people's ears, you know. But good to know. Thank you for the recommendation. We're on question 6, a favorite short story or novella. And here I actually have an extra recommendation. Let me pick up the link here. So I don't read a lot of short stories or novellas, but that might be changing. I read a handful this year, and my favorite was The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Disha Filia. And wonder of wonders, this wasn't on purpose, but tomorrow on A Mighty Blaze, Disha Filia is going to be interviewed for the Authors Love Bookstores show, not podcast, show. So that's super exciting. They choose an author, the author chooses their favorite bookstore, and they get to talk about books and other stuff, basically. So it doesn't have to be a new book. It's just like their favorite things and their writing process and all that good stuff. So her collection was amazing. I definitely recommend you check it out tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern on Authors Love Bookstores. So that's the link if you'd like to join. Question number 7 is a book that had mass appeal. So like you would recommend it to anyone you see. So besides the ones that I've already rated 5 stars, I would say The Consequences of Fear, because that's another Jacqueline Winspear book. I think it's the latest in the series. That is not leading up to, it's actually the beginning of World War II. And I mean, just think about the title and the world we're in right now. So yeah. less popular answer maybe because I'm the queen of books you've never heard of. The Ladies of Missolonghi by Colleen McCullough. So I've still not read The Thornbirds, her popular classic, but Ladies of Missolonghi is a very small, short novel, but it's like I suppose it is a coming of age. It's a very relatable early 20th century a girl growing up in a kind of a Cranford-esque town, and has a weird family structure, has a weird class structure in the town, and she sort of blunders into finding a way to make it better, but she doesn't know it. So you're sort of seeing her progress through things. It's just delightful book. Anne of Green Gables-ish. A lot of people, I think, would like it, but I don't think it's very well known. So that's what I would like to publicize. I would also recommend The Marrow of Tradition by Charles Chestnut, which was written in 1898. But wait, don't go. I read it for March of the Moderns this year. 1898? No, that's when the race riot was. It was written in 1901. So that's why I got to read it for March of the Moderns. It's about the riot that happened in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898. And it's just a very good fictional depiction right after the event of how it was brought about. And it's in the period. And again, like classic that is passed up and overlooked that I think deserves more notice. And finally, Gathering Moss, because everyone should love the tenets behind Gathering Moss. Shannon here saying she loves The Thornbirds. Yeah, I read the book because of the TV series. Yeah, I haven't seen either. I don't know how I missed them. I don't know. Yeah, so yeah. Ladies of Missolonghi. It's set in Australia, and I think that's where Thornbirds is too, because that's where the author's from, right? So, yep. All right, and now question 8 is specialized appeal. So a book that has like a niche audience, or that you have to know who to recommend it to. So based on the Patreon book club response, I'm going to say The Library Book by Susan Orlean. 3 of us loved it, and 1 of us was like, no, not having it. So a book for book lovers, but a specific type of book lover, apparently. What Would Jane Say? Definitely for a niche audience. It's a fictional nonfiction about city planning by a bunch of do-gooder women in Chicago in 1910. So yeah, if that calls to your soul, talk to me after the show. Similarly, there's another research book I read called The Fair Women, which is about strictly nonfiction about the women who planned the exposition in 1893, and all the conversations and intrigues and snubs and missteps and frustrations. And that was pretty well researched. It was really good. And then final research book, The Writings of Florence Kelly, The Life and Writings of Florence Kelly, I think it is. And she's a person who I'm sort of thinking of putting in as the main real person in my novel, but it's just not clicking. So that's why it's still on the shelf. So that's where that is. Yeah. All right. So that's specialized. So now that I lost all you guys in my research books for historical fiction, let me bring it back. The next question is about goals met, good and bad memories of the year of 2021, and favorite experiences. So I've got some notes on that, like half of my little page. So what do I have first? When I think back to the beginning of your 2021, it's crazy how much has happened in 1 year. Of course, like, what is time? That's this stupid thing to say that everybody says, so that's why it's stupid. But that's really how I can describe it. I can't believe it's only been a year since I started doing live streams. So, I mean, I've been a producer on A Mighty Blaze for 2 years now, but the switch over, like when I started experimenting with doing Friday lives, was in February, I think, and then continued it in March, and then I think June or July is when I was just like, this is so much easier. I'm going to do this. And so switched over. But that happened just last year. And it feels like I've always done this. We have always lived at the castle. So that was interesting to note that was a shift that happened. I've also got sort of like a routine of content. So like I had in my goals, it's about 75% booktube, 25% Authortube. But then I was drilling down into, I have my TBR first, and then I have my wrap up, and then I have my productivity sprint on the first Friday of the month. So that's my first week set, whichever order it falls in based on the Friday. Usually on Tuesdays, I do tags. And Fridays I do lives, and somewhere in there I have a dramatic reading. Somewhere in there I have an author panel. Somewhere in there I have, I'm not sure what the other one was. There was one more thing. Oh, the standalone book review, because you want to balance your content between evergreen stuff and stuff that people like right away. So that's 8. And so I have got some floaters that I always like make up stuff or have people on for. And so that routine, that sort of, okay, being able to count on this many videos and then having some things to play with. It's like a budget. It's like a budget for content. That's only new since last year. So again, it feels like forever, right? So yeah, that was interesting to know. The thing that happened with the live stream transition was that I sort of didn't realize when I started doing that I still needed to do the SEO stuff if I wanted to attract followers. And so it took me like 6 months of doing live streams to figure out that I needed to go back and do like post processing. So now beforehand, everyone knows you do the description, you do the thumbnail, you do et cetera, et cetera. You have your stream, you have your video up, and then afterwards you can do all this stuff like add an end screen and add cards and add chapters and pin a comment and all those things. And the reason I found out I had to do that was because Jim's books reading and stuff kept recommending TubeBuddy and vidIQ. I don't remember which one, but I ended up just signing up for them both. And now they're on every video that says, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? And so somewhat helpful as a reminder to go back and do that post-processing to make sure that people find the video or have a good chance and, add tags and all that stuff. So that's been good. And now I'm only 15 people away from 500. You know what I'm most excited about when I hit 500 that I'm going to be able to do? Give us a guess. Give us a guess what the most exciting thing about getting 500 subscribers is going to make me excited about. That wasn't a good sentence. Guess what thing that will happen I am most excited about. That's what I meant to say. Oh, we have some chat. Sorry. I am catching up here. Set in Australia, Thornbirds. That had to be Barbara Stanwyck's last role. I would imagine the Thornbirds, that is. I think I might be the only one who was born when it actually came out. Probably Joe. Although maybe John is still here. I don't know. It's might not be his type of movie. It was in the 80s. Yeah. Anita says, I was alive back then. Didn't watch it, though. I know. Does feel like that. I can't believe I've only known you less than a year, right? We're all reminiscing about how young we are, right? Right? Thank you, Jenna. Keep doing epic things. All right. Yeah. I have them both. They're so bossy. I already forgot which one that is about. Community. Oh, we got a spammer here. Block user. Community. Yay! Joe says he started with vidIQ. Community tab. Okay, community tab is not it. Good guesses, but nope. Nope, it's something else. What else happens when you hit 500? Just peeping into the chat here on YouTube to make people moderators. All right. Text posts. What's a text post? I think that's the community tab. No. Okay, well, I don't see it. I'm going to tell you. It's the ability to people at channel names and have them be hyperlinked. Like, I don't know why that isn't given to everybody. That's so the fact that I have to, like, every time I link someone's channel name in my description, I have to go search, find it, and make sure I have exactly the right, Katie Reads and Rants. There's no spaces between the ampersand and the words. Like, otherwise it was impossible to find your channel. So stuff like that. Like, it's going to be so much easier. I look forward to this. 15 people away. Very excited. Yay, John got it. John got it. Or he heard me say it and was the quickest on the trigger there. All right, well, I blocked it, so hopefully it disappeared. Yes, John got it. There you go, the wrench of power. Would never have guessed that. Yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, you have to do the long way around each time, so it's, like, silly. Almost there, almost there. Thank you, guys. All right, so yeah, so thanks to Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff for pointing out those things, and Barrett Laurie for, like, I don't know, encouraging me to do all those little settings things after the fact, because, like, growth mindset. I was getting off track, and so that helped. The Authortube summer autumn crew definitely helped me get back on track. So goals met, good and bad memories, favorite experiences. I did a little bit of, I mean, this isn't stats, but this is like a little bit of the backstage stuff. I looked at the most viewed days on my channel, and it was when I came out with the booktube newbie tag, which I don't do searches for newbie channels. I kind of feel like I should, but I also feel kind of like that's disingenuous. I don't know. Who do you guys do that? How do you feel about, like, is that phishing or is that too transactional? I don't know. I follow a lot of channels, so finding people who are just starting out, and I can't tell, like, if I'm gonna like their style because they haven't established a style yet, kind of seems like spending a lot of time on something and I don't know, not knowing if you're gonna like it, because I watch a lot of the channels that I'm subscribed to. I don't know. Maybe I have it backwards. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. September 19th, that was when I had two shows. I talked to Vicki Carter, who is the author's librarian, in an interview, and had the Voltron productivity sprint, which, want to see something else cool? There's another one coming up, and there's another one coming up, and it's this Sunday, the 23rd. Boom. With these people. So this is the virtual background functionality. Sandy Golston, Steph at Coffee Over Apples, Shay with the Hobbies. We're going to be sprinting it up on Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So that is the next time we'll be sprinting. And they're a lot of fun. So yeah. And then December 10th, I had a lot of views, and that was the 90s Kids Authortube edition. And so that was just like a whole lot of fun. We were talking for a while, so that makes sense. Most viewed videos are the announcement for March of the Moderns, which, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about that in a second. The March of the Moderns kickoff, the historical fiction panel on November 14th, which was with my idols. So that was a great one. Vanessa Riley and Susanna Kearsley. Excellent. So that was a dream come true. Let's see. One of the things I've had to reflect on and sort of teeter back and forth is this straddling of two niches. And I'm sure some of you can relate to this. As I said, I'm 75% booktube, 25% authortube, but it's been like ramped up authortube lately just because of who I've been associating with and how growth mindset they are. But I feel like in the last couple weeks, I've been like, oh, wait, I've laid the groundwork to be like a reader and talk with readers. And I feel like that's more of what I'm comfortable with. And because when you get into the Authortube side, there's a lot of writing advice and there's a lot of critiquing online and stuff that just doesn't seem as fun to me. So I don't want to do that content. So that's why I'm mostly on booktube. I'm still in the reader world, but I'm putting out different stuff, if that makes sense. So yeah, so rebalancing with that more recently has been a good shift for 2022. Excited about that. Let's see what we have for the new channels. Oh, yep, Joe had to go. Thanks for coming by, Joe. Shannon says, I look at it as I would have loved for people to have found me and welcomed me into the community, so I try to pay it forward. True, good point. Anita says, mostly the new channels that follow are recommends. Yep, definitely. Especially when people tag. I think that's when I look for the people who have the lowest subscriber counts that I am subscribed to, and I'll try to tag them when I'm being intentional about it. John says, I did search for the booktube newbie tag when I was trying to grow my channel. I stopped when I started to have too many channels to watch. Yep, recalibrating makes sense. Yay, you do you. Yeah, so yeah, recalibrating. Thank you, Jenna. I'm still trying plenty of new ideas, so some of them crash and burn, but more of them go off okay. So let's see. I've got some standing collaborations that work real well. I really like doing buddy reads. I have a list of all the buddy reads I did in 2021. So drum roll, please. The shout outs to all the awesome buddy readers. We have Sandy Golston. Sorry, Sandy Golston was 2020. This is the other Sandy from MsReads A Lot with Hamnet. That was December. Apparently I'm going in backwards order. Red Mars with Chrissy at the Return Cart. Cranford with Berna at Berna's Bookish Adventures. Oryx and Craig with John at Hey Y'all Listen Up. Memory Called Empire with Katya Weinert, who is also tagged in this. The Essex Serpent with Danny, Victoria, and Laura. That was a big Voxer group for me. It's a lot to keep track of. The Edwardians with Courtney Ferreter. Minimum Wage Magic, again with John of Hey Y'all Listen Up. The Food of a Younger Land with Rosie Cockshut on the tag list. The Luminaries with Brittany of Literally Smitten, even though she was like, meh, and I was like, yeah. It was a really good experience. Sour Heart with Bookmarks and Breadsticks. The Woodlanders with Jennifer and Tori. The Woodlanders by Thomas Hardy. So that was a classic. Not my bag, but they were great fun. Their Eyes Were Watching God with Donna Sinclair. Angie, let's see. Enchanted April with Angie, Sina, and Marissa. Right? No, Marissa was Precious Bane. Why do I have... Oh, Angie of Literary Labors. Sorry, I put LL and I thought it was another person. Okay. Passage to India with Rainer of Rainier Books. The Playboy of the Western World with Lana X Libris, who's also tagged here. Precious Bane with Marissa of Blatantly Bookish and Tony of Book Text. High Wages with Katya Weinert again. Clockwork Angel with Will of Ilum Reads. And Austenland with Berna of Berna's Bookish Adventures. So you'll see I had a few repeats here because we just had fun and we had similar books. So we just kept the magic going. But I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. So I'm loving buddy reads. It's a great way to read books. What can I say? For someone who liked English in high school and, likes talking about books and discussing them. That's why we're here on a booktube channel, right? So, yeah. So if you see on my story graph somewhere where I have an owned book and you want to read it and I haven't read it, I think that's public. You look at the tags of a person's profile and you can see any book that I have owned. It's sitting around waiting to be read, waiting to be picked, like someone in a beauty contest. So if you want to buddy read it throughout the year, please let me know. All right, so that was the buddy reads. Let's see. the Voltron sprints, and the reason I call them that is because we're all like children of the 80s/90s when Voltron cartoons were on, and so we're like Transformers together sort of thing. And yeah, we just do once a month. We rotate channels between Cache, Sandy, and Steph and mine. And this month, it's my channel this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you want company getting your work done, tune into my channel on Sunday. And March of the Moderns, now called May of the Moderns. So let me give you a cool little graphic here. This one. So I have these thumbnails from Buddy Reads that I did during the Readathon that I put together, March of the Moderns, some of which I just mentioned there. And the excellence of this Readathon has made me want to do it again. But because March was so crowded, because we've got middle grade March and we've got March of the Mammoths and we've got Mystery Madness and like all these things happening in March, I'm moving it to May. So it's still MOTM, May of the Moderns, but it's going to be books from 1901 to 1945, written from all over the world, from all different perspectives. I've got more stuff coming. So there'll be Buddy Reads and prompts, but also other stuff to experiment with, hopefully. So yay! This is the lovely... I don't have a green screen, but hey, we're going to have fun with virtual backgrounds. And speaking of which, I'm doing Sunday StreamYard tutorials to help people who maybe need a little extra help for streaming, curious, that you're StreamYard curious, or like have done it but want to get better at doing all the things at the same time. Like I said, I do this professionally for A Mighty Blaze and would love to help people out. So that's going to be like every other Sunday thing. So yeah, standing collaborations, Buddy Reads, productivity sprints, and the May of the Moderns Readathon. That's kind of my jam. That's like enough to keep me out of trouble, I think. What else? Favorite experiences? I really love doing the karaoke tag. That was super fun. Doing YOLA for this last year, getting to know a lot more Indigenous reads and putting those on my list for lots of different months, not just November. That was good. Asking authors on to do my Patreon book chats and stuff. That's been really fun. And of course, A Mighty Blaze. So yeah. Buddy Reads. Sweet. And Shannon, I was going to ask you something about March, maybe. So yes, and lovely people here. Thank you for joining. Shannon says, family just got home, going to eat dinner. Catch the rest of this later. Thank you, Shannon. Jenna says, not sure if I'm keeping Fiction and 5 alive, but Buddy Reads, as I love your Voltron force. 80s baby nerds unite. Yes, totally. I mean, originally I started with A-Team, and I thought A-Team would be a cool name, and we have 4 now. We started out with 3, and now we have 4. So it's like, I was obviously going to be Murdoch, but I was leaving all the other 3 to them, but they didn't like that. They liked Voltron better, so I have adapted. If you were a member of the A-Team, who would it be? That's my next question. So yeah, that is the book Postscript book tag, created by MementoMori a long time ago, and I was tagged by Sandy at MsReads A Lot, who I will soon be doing a buddy read with. And I'm just going to do a quick cameo of all the current reads because I think it's kind of ridiculous. In case Katie is still watching, I'm still reading this. Liking it. It's good. Clan Lands by Sam Hewen and Graham McTavish. It's from the Outlander stars making more money out of their acting gig. I started rereading this lovely thing because I'm home and I have my mom's copies that I didn't want to get any more, torn up. So I'm already like ass. I love this book. It's I haven't read it in 20 years, but I read it so many times in junior high. ish beginning high school that it feels like coming home. Like I return to the names like Bill Ferny, and I'm like, oh yes. And that quote, what do they eat when they can't get orbit? Like the quote, like it's all coming home. I love it. So rereading that one while I'm here, and I could sit by the fire like Bilbo Baggins. I've got Once Upon a River going by Diane Setterfield. I am past half in that one as well. I was trying to like hold off finishing it because I'm going to finish it when I get back to Sacramento and meet up with Katie, I think, one more time before I head back to Portland. I do lots of travel plans. So yeah. This buddy read with Bria, which is 2022 technically because I don't think she started until this week, by Maryse Condé, which is a translation work and a classic. So that's super cool. And I am about 200 pages, so almost halfway in this one. Reading an arc called Herrick's End by my friend T.M. Blanchett, and listening to an audio by Vivek Murthy, which is called Together, and that's a nonfiction. So if you listen, you've caught all my monthly TBR goals in there, except an indie pubbed book. So we'll see if I have time at the end of the month to get to Libby Hawker's Take Off Your Pants craft book. That would be good, but we'll see. Hannibal. I love it when I plan. Oh, yeah. Isn't it? Is it called something else? Chief? Or I don't know what they call him, but yeah, Hannibal. I love it when a plan comes together. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Lord of the Rings for the win. Thank you, Jenna. Yes, and did my writing. That's something in the sky out there. I'm not going to look. Did my writing retreat wellness sprint devolve into a Lord of the Rings fan session on Sunday? Yes, it did. And I'm completely okay with that. And I need to say, also, it's the second time this week. The A-Team has been mentioned in a live stream I've watched. What was the other time? That's so exciting. I loved that show. I don't know why. I also loved Unsolved Mysteries. So, there's no accounting for taste. In the 80s, slim pickings. Well, I've gotten through the tag. I've told you my current reading. The only thing I was going to... Oh, there we go. The only other thing I was going to point out is that I'm running a low-key, chill, just support Black Authortubers for the month of February because why not? It's another good way to get an indie pub book because a lot of these people are indie authors. And yeah, it'll be fun. We're going to do some buddy reads of some great reads, some romance, some poetry, some fantasy, and... Is there? Yeah, there's horror. We need horror readers. So if you're a horror reader, definitely help us out on this one and support a Black Authortuber. So we're setting up for that. That is it. So with that, I bid you adieu, fair ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you again soon. Oh, thanks, Anita. Bye.